So I don't really know what I want to talk about, but I'm just gonna talk because I always have a lot of things that I am always observing, like within just like Earth and what is going on. And one thing that I'm noticing is there's a lot of change happening, and this change is coming from what I call a artificial standpoint. What I mean by that is there's a lot of things that is around us that is telling us that the world is horrible. All you turn on like the news, you see a mass shooting here, you see a killing there, a murder there. It's like everything that is negative is being thrown on us, to have us feel. And a lot of us are feeling it, you know what I mean? Because a lot of us are actually in tune with like the news. I do not advise you guys to watch the news. The news is a scam. The news is one of the main news, and like media is one of the main things to keep you in a low vibration, to keep you always afraid, always in fear. Bad news always lurking, always keep you thinking and downing, and you know what I mean? So try to avoid that as much as possible. I promise you, anything that's really serious news, you would know, and we would know as a people. Okay, so everything else is just straight propaganda, and it's just to sell. Okay, so what I've been seeing, is just a lot of negativity that's being pushed. And what people don't understand is when there's negative energy being pushed out through these like TV screens, they directly affect us physically. So when you turn on your like screen and you hear this person was killed this way, that way, and you start to feel bad, you're literally lowering your vibration. And that's a lot of the key goals of these media stations and media like super giants. They want to keep you in a sense of fear because it's easier to control people, okay, when they're in a sense of fear. Like, for example, if I'm a bully, okay, if I just walk like up to you and I told you, hey, give me your sneakers, I want it like right now. If you don't fear me, you look at me as though I'm crazy, you know what I'm saying? But if you've seen me beat up like somebody, or if I've aggressively approached you before, you would think twice and you would be like afraid, and there's a higher chance of you giving it to me than not. So that's what pretty much like the media is. They're very strategic in, putting out certain info that they know is going to attack certain parts of your brain, because believe it or not, our subconscious brain is so easy to be like manipulated, because your subconscious brain is almost like something that's always turned on. Even when you don't want it to be, you are always, because of the fact that you're overall experiencing life, your subconscious is almost like your life experiencer at all times. So when you're more on a higher conscious level, you're actually aware. So you're only conscious. When you're subconscious, it's like you're partially like aware, but no matter what, our brains and our senses are always like working. So we're always receiving all sorts of downloads and information, and we're always taking in what is around us naturally, and that's called subconsciousness, okay? So the reason why I say our subconsciousness is so easy to be manipulated is because you can turn on a TV screen, okay, and you may not want to necessarily tune in and focus on what you want to watch, but your subconscious brain, regardless of if you like it or not, you're going to catch yourself either repeating something like that was in what you was watching without even realizing it, because we are constantly always in observance subconsciously and always downloading subconsciously. So they are aware of this. So the easiest way to get to people is to subconsciously take control of them. So a lot of psychological warfare is done on a subconscious level, because that's the most vulnerable level. When somebody is tuned in, focused, and like thinking, you cannot fool them. But when somebody is simply, here, so like right now, if I was to just be in tune with just what's around me, okay, I still can hear all the trucks. I can hear people running. I'm still aware. So that's my subconscious brain still having its subconscious awareness, okay? So the media and certain powers use this part of us to manipulate us, okay? So just try to always, be aware of what you're surrounding like yourself with, and always have a certain level of honor in what you're surrounding and who you're surrounding like yourself with, because even if you're not consciously downloading and allowing it to be absorbed, you're still subconsciously, and that's just as important, because your subconscious, believe it or not, can sometimes lead to your actual conscious, guys, okay? And a lot of our subconscious is actually what creates a majority of our, what I call our robot personality. So what I mean by that is we act certain ways. Think about when you're interacting with like people. If you pay attention to yourself, you do a lot of things that you're not 100% aware of. Have you ever had a conversation where you guys are speaking, okay, and you're saying words, and yes, you're aware like that you're speaking it, but you're not necessarily 100% processing everything. They're sort of just like coming out. And that's the power of your subconscious brain, is because you've accumulated a mass amount of subconscious like download to where you can almost be on like a autopilot when communicating. Okay, so that's just another way to become aware and in tune with your subconscious. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of this stuff, guys, and I just want to say that if we really think about it, okay, I want you to think about a lot of the most eager questions that you have ever had, and when you have received an answer for it, where that answer has came from. Has it came from you or somebody else? Think about your most like deepest wonders of the world. Who has discovered them for you, yourself or other people? So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I feel like if we as a people became more aware of ourselves and our abilities of discovering and trusting our consciousness when it comes to trying to understand things, when it comes to processing things, when it comes to like receiving things, we would be able to better translate things like within ourselves to where we understand things wholesomely instead of gathering a bunch of things that are told to us and believing it. So you need to understand, okay, there are billions of us that are controlled by a very few amount of us. In order to think about your pet, if you have a dog, if you have a child, you have to keep a certain level of structuredness in order to keep that pet or that child in a conformity of discipline, in a conformity of following and obeying you. So if I just let my child do whatever they want, they're not going to respect me and they're not going to obey me. So I have to come up with certain tactics and things to help me to be able to keep a sense of control on my either pet or child. So I want you to think of things in that sense when I'm talking about this, because what we don't seem to understand is that a lot of our life that we are living is not really our life. If you think about from the time you've been born, you've been given everything. What I mean by that is, okay, let's start from like day one, okay? You are created, you are born, you come out of the womb. From the moment you come out, you are being taught how to live. You're being taught how to think. Down to our kids shows, okay? Our TV shows, they show us how to manage our emotions. So down to even how to manage your emotions, you're being taught how to. That's why a lot of us are struggling with learning how to understand ourselves and how to control our emotions, because we're learning it from outsources instead of like within ourselves. So it's just very crucial to be aware of stuff like this, because you can completely lose yourself and not ever be able to discover what you truly are, who you truly are, what you truly like, your true mindsets, if you've been given everything. So when people use the term, oh, I've come to enlightenment, I am awake and I'm woke, what they're pretty much just trying like to say is they understand that the power like that, like they have now, they understand that a lot of the things that they are is not really them. They have came to light with how much stuff they have been given, and the illusion of freedom. The reason why I say the illusion of freedom is because in this world you are given options that you choose from, and the ability to choose from those options are what we are like defining as freedom. True freedom is limitless. You choose based off you. You're not given any choices. So if you pay attention to our life, even when it comes to school, our careers, just everything is a few optionated choices. But because we feel like we have options, we feel like those options are freedom. But those options are not deriving from us originally. Those are selective options that we are given to choose from. So there's not no real true freedom. It's an illusion. Sit and think about that, y'all. Okay? So, like I said, I'm sorry if I'm losing anybody like within this video. I am just trying to get in tune with myself with this YouTube stuff. I promised like myself that this is the year I'm gonna go hard. So I'm just getting comfortable, guys. So hopefully you're able to pull as much info as possible Even though, you know, I'm not specifically talking about specific topics, I'm just bringing light to a lot of things that can pretty much help anybody or make anybody like think about. So this video is more so of just like a blog where you can pull and process. I'm actually spending time with like myself right now. So overall, I just want to say, let's start tuning in to truth. And when I say truth, I mean think about everything on a deep level, guys. A lot of us, you know, we just tend to accept everything that we're given. You know, we tend to not question anything. We tend to not disobey anything.